Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning if you're on the West Coast. We are just underway in another autumn wind championship game. This time it's the Philadelphia Eagles up against the New Orleans Saints. This is the NFC championship game. We've already played the AFC title game. That took place Thursday. We'll give the results of that score at the end of this broadcast. We won't spoil it for everybody. New Orleans comes into this game 12-4 during the regular season. Philadelphia Eagles also were 12-4. We'll give a little bit of information, a little bit on how both of these clubs got here. Let's set up the game board. Just a couple of plays in. So Philadelphia here is on the road. They're coached by Dave Saminsky. These are two Autumn Wind lifers. Just a quick history lesson here. Autumn Wind has been in existence since the late 60s, and they adapted Strat-o-matic in the early 70s, and they adapted the electronic version of the game, I believe, 16 years ago. So both of these two have been in the league at the very least for all of the years in which we've used the computerized game. So the Eagles here are up against New Orleans Saints, who is coached by Gene LaFleur. Both the clubs 12-4. There's a pass that's completed, and so the Eagles on their first drive have made their way into New Orleans Saints territory. That was a reception in the short pass zone. It was caught by Will Fuller. It was on the receiver card. Kirk Cousins under center. Alvin Kamara, who has a fine card this year, is in the backfield. Kyle Juszczyk is the fullback. There's a run up the middle, but the nose tackle is able to make the play. White die 4. So Tomlin easily is able to make that play. New Orleans, I believe both these clubs play. Well, we'll have to see what the Eagles run. New Orleans runs a 3-4. There's a quick pass there to Hunter Henry. Pass is incomplete. It was actually -3 on Henry's card, but since that was a look-in pass, you don't get negative yards on a look-in pass, so the pass is incomplete. So it's 3rd and 9. Kyle Juszczyk will stay in on this 3 wide set. Fuller, Brandon Ayuk, and now Kamara is going to shift from the backfield, and he's going to be a wide out. He's guarded by a 5. Got a 4 on Ayuk, and you got a 4 at free safety. Everybody else is a 5 or a 6. There's a quick pass intended for Kyle Juszczyk that is incomplete. New Orleans was double teaming him. Actually, I'm sorry, he picks up 5 yards on the play. That was on Kirk Cousins' card, so now it's 4th down and 4. And Philadelphia deciding whether or not to go for it. Ball's at the 43. And they are. So this is a very aggressive play early on here from Dave Saminsky. Kamara is back there in the backfield. Again with Kyle Juszczyk. Defense stays in that 3-4. Inside run for Kamara. Defense guesses pass. And Kamara is able to break through. Very fortunate there. Tomlinson is a 5, and that was a white die 6. So he'll pick up 12. And that'll be a first down for the Eagles. So they're able to successfully convert on 4th down. And the ball now is resting at the 31-yard line. So you'd have to consider that a pretty fortunate break there for the Eagles only needed 40, got 12, but that very easily could have been stopped for 1 yard, and the Saints would have taken over in very good field position at their own 44. But instead, Philadelphia will continue this drive. Kamara for 4 on an off tackle run, 2nd down and 6. It's 4 on his card. He's got short gains on 6 and 7. Pretty good gains throughout his card, except, of course, the dreaded 5, which we all know is pretty much going to be a 0 for most everybody, maybe even a loss of 1. 2 yard pickup guessed wrong. Other than that, everything is going to be pretty solid if he's guessed wrong. Going to be able to move the ball with him. 2nd and 6. And the give again is to Kamara. He goes around the left end this time and picks up 5. That was on his card. Now his end run is where he shines. Short gains on 6, 4, and 8. 2 chunky runs of 49 and 30 on 2 and 3. Of course, that's when guessed wrong. 3rd and 1. Now we go pro set. So this gives Juszczyk the opportunity to carry the ball, and he's one of the few fullbacks actually who can carry the ball effectively. Not very many rated fullbacks who can run, but he is one of them. Off tackle run for Kamara. Defense guesses pass. This should be something good, and it is. So Kamara is able to pick it up. He only gets 2 on the play. White dice 6. Left guard unable to make the block, but they're still able to get 2. Philadelphia's line, it's an interesting line. 2 tackles at 5 and 6, a 5 center, but a 4 and a 0 in the middle. We've seen better lines here in the autumn wind playoffs, but obviously the Eagles have been able to make do. Defense guessing pass. Double teaming Ayuk on the play. Whoa, boy, what a break. That's incomplete. Interception split 2 through 6, 11, and 12, and it was a 10. Correctly double teamed by the defense. Throwing a bomb here at the 20. Tony Pollard checks into the game. And Kirk Cousins' pass to Pollard is good for 9. Defense guessed run. And so another 3rd down for the Eagles, who received the opening kickoff. And this drive has now lasted nearly 7 minutes. So a good grinded out first drive. Kamara is back in there again with Juszczyk. Kirk Cousins under center. Pass to Fuller. Defense guesses pass. And the pass is incomplete. 4 men in the zone. And so now decision time for the Eagles. They already went for it on 4th down earlier in this drive. And they're going to pass on this chip shot 28-yard field goal attempt. They're going to go for it here on 4th and 1. I had erroneously mentioned early in the game that he had a free safety 4. It's actually a free safety 6. Just noticed that. 0-5-4 across the line, so there's some vulnerability. Let's see if he brings those 2 middle linebackers up. Maybe he'll move that 6 into the middle linebacker flat pass zone, move up those 2 4s. Pitch out to Kamara. Defense guesses pass. He moved everybody up to the line, and Kamara is able to make it. Wow, and that was a very close one, actually. He ran there on the side in which his offensive tackle was able to make that block. His left tackle is a 6, and he needed all of those 6 points to get that first down. Had it been a 5 or less, it would have been a 0-yard gain or no gain, and again would have turned the ball back over. So a couple of that's a personnel roll. Maybe the first Fourth down conversion was more a lucky roll, but this one was definitely personnel. He knew exactly which side to go. And so Kamara gets another first down, a fourth down conversion, 2 for 2 on this drive. 7:12 on a running clock. The Eagles in business here with the ball at the 6. Defense calls run, looking for Alvin Kamara. And that's going to be caught, and we have our game's first touchdown. Kamara hauls it in from 6 yards out, and the Eagles will take the early lead, 6-0, on a monster drive that lasted over 8 minutes. And it included 2 fourth down conversions. So the Eagles had the opportunity for 3, roll the dice, and they wind up with 7. Say they are the first on the board here in this NFC Championship game. The San New Orleans Saints and head coach Gene LaFleur is ready to take over. Now, their club is led by Matt Ryan, and we'll see something interesting. This is the second um, team in the championship round that has a running back with a run block rating of 4 or better, and in this league, that enables them to play fullback. So Latavius Murray is playing fullback, and Wayne Gallman is playing halfback, and both of them have pretty decent guess wrong cards. There's a flare to Murray. There were 2 men in the zone because defense double teamed Murray on that play. So no gain. Good call by Saminsky. So Saminsky up the middle, 5-6-5, very strong 3-4 defense with a 5-6-0 and 5. So that's an excellent crew there in your front 7. Defense is going to double team Julian Edelman on this play. And this is a pass to Latavius Murray. Guessed right. 7 on Matt Ryan's card. It's 3rd down and 3. So Ryan has a pretty average flat pass card. A lot of the better cards have something on that 10, and he does not. So it's 3rd down and 3 now. Murray still in the backfield, but that's Dearness Johnson, who has a really good card. Guessed right or wrong. He'll have limited carries, maybe 5 or 6 before he's fatigued. He'll have a really nice card next year. He subbed for Chubb, Nick Chubb with the Cleveland Browns, and put together some nice games. I think he's going to have a great card next year. Defense was keying. Defense was actually keying on Dearness Johnson there. There was a pass caught by Julian Edelman, pickup of 11 and a first down. Had they guessed run, that would have been an incomplete. Excuse me. Had they guessed pass, sorry, that would have been an incomplete pass. But instead, New Orleans will convert, and it's 1st and 10 on their 43. So Gene LaFleur, head coach of the New Orleans Saints, up against Dave Saminsky. Both these clubs had identical 12-4 records during the regular season. There's another flat pass. This one's caught, and it's a pickup of 6. That was again to Murray. It's on his card, 2nd down and 4. Really good set of linebackers there at 5, 5, and 6. So with that 6 in the middle, the white die 6 rule is eliminated. It's one of the few rule variations that we have in this league that a white die 6 is how you can get extra yards. It would be 0 men in the zone. All of us who play this know that rule, but if you're just tuning in for the first time, Latavius Murray there picks up 9. Defensive end 2 or 9. And even though the Eagles' front line is quite stout at 5, 6, and 5, the 5 is unable to make the play. And so the Saints, just like the Eagles, will make their way into the opposition's territory on their first drive. Eagles took 8 minutes off the clock to get their first touchdown. Cousins, a 6-yard pass to Kamara. for the first touchdown. So no gain on that play for Gallman. Second down and 4. Excuse me, second down 10. Sorry. Second down and 10 for the Saints. Off tackle run. Nice call by the Eagles. They called run, and he'll lose a yard on the play. Had he been wrong, that would have been a short gain and a first down. So now it's third and 11 for the Saints at the Eagles 43 with 3 minutes to go. Saints are trailing 7-0. Three wide set for the Saints. That's Edelman, Sterling Shepard, and Rashad Higgins. There's a 4 that is guarding Shepard. So that's a possible target. Pass is caught. Successful double team, but that was on Matt Ryan's card. And that'll gain 11, just enough for the first down. So both these clubs have done excellent jobs of converting third downs, and for the Eagles, they converted 2 fourth downs on their first drive. So neither one of these clubs have been able to push the other off the field in these first drives. There's a run that the nose tackle stuffs for no gain. So Gallman, 3 carries, -1 yards, off to a bit of a rough start here. Second and 10. The Saints will stay steady with this 2, if you want to call it, running back set. Off tackle run. Defense again guesses run. Great call. And it's only a pickup of 2, so it's now third and 8 for the Saints. They're in field goal range here. From here, it would be a 47-yarder. But let's see if they can convert another third down. 3 wide set. Defense is going to double team the tight end. And that pass is incomplete. 4 men in the zone on the defensive card, and so they're going to have to settle for a field goal attempt. And that kick is no good. Zane Gonzalez shanks that one, and that long drive goes for nothing. And the Eagles will take over with nice field position here at the 37, already up 7-0. So bad break there for New Orleans, as the Eagles will take over 7, already leading 7-0. Off tackle right to Kamara. Defense guesses pass. That's an 11-yard pickup and a first down. Again, short gains on 6 and 7 for Kamara. Guessed wrong. Ball now at the Eagle 48, already up 7-0. Off tackle run, defense again, guessing pass. Again on Kamara's card. This time he's only able to pick up 4. So it's second down and 6. So the Eagles were a wild card team in these playoffs. They defeated Shreveport 20-20 in the wild card round. A big win against New England, a last second win, literally last second win against the 15-1 New England Patriots for the right to play in this NFC title game. Seattle also was a wild card team, defeating Tampa Bay 20-13, and then the Oakland Raiders 23-7. So after that Kirk Cousins pass to Kyle Juszczyk, the Eagles have now made their way into New Orleans Saints territory. First down conversion, ball to 42. They're already up 7-0 as we're just a minute here into the second quarter. Inside run for Kamara, and that's a big gainer. 9 with the double box in play, so that's a 19-yard pickup. And so at the very least, the Eagles are now in field goal position here, knocking on the door of the red zone. They're at the 23 of the Saints. Pitch, defense guesses pass. That's a 5-yard pickup. And it's now second down and 5. Kamara, 11 carries for 68 yards already in this contest. He's been the workhorse so far. He has 9 more unfatigued carries, but early on, the strategy has been to use him pretty consistently. Defense guesses run. This is a pass looking for for Hunter Henry, but it is incomplete. Linebacker in the zone is able to make the play. That's Demario Davis. White die 5. So nice play there by the linebacker. It's tough to get good pass defending linebackers, but you got a 6 over there. So again, you get that advantage of every X reading being incomplete, but also if he stays there, he's immune to the white die 6. So a little bit of a tougher conversion here, third and 5. But you got a 0 on the left and a 4 on the right for end. So there definitely are holes here. Wouldn't be surprised a bit to see Kamara with another carry. Instead, we're going to see a quick in to Hunter Henry. One man in the zone. Defense guesses run, and that's going to be a completed pass and a first down. Pickup of 10 on the play. Kirk Cousins so far 7-11 for 66 yards and a touchdown. During the regular season, Kirk Cousins threw 40 touchdown passes in the regular autumn win season there for the Eagles. He also had 20 interceptions. Kamara back there with Juszczyk. Now they're in the full house backfield, so either one of those two can run. Ball at the 8, so the flat pass won't be in fashion. There's a pitch out to Kamara. Defense guesses run successfully here. Kamara still able to pick up 3. Defensive end unable to make that play. So white die 5. So neither one of those ends can make that play, even though there was one linebacker in the zone. Of course, now with that goal line defense. by default, one of those end runs is going to be plugged. And now we go full house. So we see Juszczyk, Kamara, and Tony Pollard, who hasn't seen much action here in the first half, but he's a great backup for Kamara. I believe Kamara has 8 more unfatigued carries, so maybe we'll see a little bit more of Pollard here if the Eagles get the ball one more time here before the half, and they probably should. 11:06 to go. Amazing in this game so far, there's only been 3 possessions. 2 for the Eagles. Their first possession ended with a 6-yard touchdown pass from Kirk Cousins. The Saints had a nice lengthy drive too. Second down, here's a curl pass for Fuller. Defense guesses run. Oh, and it's incomplete. It was on Kirk Cousins' card. He has a blank on a 7 and a 10 and an interception split on 11. So a bad break there. Defense guessed wrong. So he had the Saints fooled, but unable to convert on that play. And so this is now third down and goal from the 5. 10:48 to go here in the first half. Eagles up 7-0 in this autumn wind NFC Championship game. The winner will punch their ticket to the Super Bowl. Great AFC title tilt between the Houston Oilers and the Montreal Alouettes, and we'll reveal a little bit later in this broadcast. Those who are listening to it pretty much know, but we'll save the spoiler for the fourth quarter. But it was really a fine game for both clubs. Defense guessing pass. They're looking for Ayuk, not double teamed. And that pass is going to be caught. So again, Kirk Cousins, solid on this drive. This time a 5-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Ayuk, and they're up 13-0. And if McManus can put this through, they will extend that lead to 14-0. A really nice drive, which started at the 37. And that is it's no good. It's wide right. That's an interesting extra point card. Missing on 10, 11, and 12. So an 83% chance of hitting those extra points. I think some coaches would think maybe it'd just be better to go for 2 with a kicker like that. But regardless, the Eagles are off to a great start, already up 13-0. We've got 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter, and this is only the second time that the Saints have touched the ball. Off tackle run for Gallman, and he's finally going to pick up some yards on his card. This time it's a 6-yard gain, and it's now second down and 4. So the 2 running backs set thus far for New Orleans. One of them is carrying his weight, the other one is not. Gallman, 5 carries for 7 yards. Latavius Murray has had a little bit more success. Still in that pro set. Off tackle run for Murray. Defense guesses pass. Let's see if they convert here. Yep, they do. Latavius Murray will pick up 6 and move the chains first down. So the Saints had a great first drive, but unfortunately were unable to convert when Zane Gonzalez shanked a field goal. And that gave the Eagles the ball at their own 37, and they were able to put together another touchdown drive. That's why they're up 13-0 here. Wow, huge loss of 4 on the play. Defender -4 or -2 on that flat pass attempt. So Cephas dropped behind the line of scrimmage there by James Barberry. So that was an unfortunate roll. Every once in a while, you run into those unfortunate rolls. For the most part, the flat pass, it's not unstoppable, especially if you run a 3-4 and you can flood a couple of flats. And that's what we're seeing here, actually. Defense calls run, and that one is incomplete. And so that's another unfortunate roll as Matt Ryan is unable to complete that pass to Higgins. And so now we've got a four wide set. That's Cephas, Higgins, Edelman, and Sterling Shepard in there. Let's see if the Eagles are going to bring some heat here, or perhaps they're going to maybe one or two double teams. Cephas is guarded by a four. Not a lot of vulnerability there. Incomplete pass, defender X. That pass was to Higgins, and Barberry was easily able to knock that one away. And the Eagles are going to get this in good field position as they're going to take over at their opponent's 35 after that really, really poor kick of 17 yards. I wish Strat would do something about that. I feel a 17-yard punt, just on the law of averages, you're going to see that punt two times a year. I just wonder if maybe they should split that and turn that into, the second lowest kick and then, make it an even or odd white die rule where you would get that really bad shank. But that's such a mess. That only happens one time a year, and yet in our league it could happen twice. It just depends on the luck of the draw, obviously. But in a 16 game season, you're liable to hit that twice. And that's a killer. As the Eagles are already up 13-0 here. And the moment they caught that ball, they're in field goal range off of that 7-yard pickup. Here's a run to Kamara. Defense guesses run. But the defensive end is not able to make that play. Vulnerability there on both of those ends is a 0 and a 4. And again, the Eagles are able to convert on third down. Kamara, 14 carries now for 85 yards. And so he's not holding back at all. He's going to squeeze every little drop out of Kamara. First and 10. Inside run for Kamara. Defense guesses run. Nice call for the Saints. No gain. The dreaded 5. It's a no gain either way. But still a good call from the Saints. Now the Saints will get the ball to begin the second half. .542 to go here in the first half. So they should, well, there's a chance. Now there's a really good chance. Third and 10. Tony Pollard guessed wrong, and for the second consecutive time, that's dreaded 5. It's now third down and 10. So a stop here and a field goal attempt for McManus will give the Saints the ball with about 4 minutes to go, and again, they'll get the kickoff. Probably a little early to say this, but this is kind of a crucial third down stop. If the Saints can get the Eagles off the field and keep this to 2 scores and get the ball back with enough time to do something here before the half, this would be really huge. So New Orleans has to dial in on this play. 3 wide set for the Eagles. As it's pretty much the same personnel package, except Kamara now splits out as a wideout. Defense is double teaming check. That's a pass. They're looking for Kamara on this play, and wow. Kirk Cousins continues his hot afternoon. 9 of 14, able to convert on that third down. Those numbers don't look great, but it's just really, really impressive how the Eagles have been able to convert third down after third down. 9 of 14 now for Cousins. That was Kamara's second reception. And so once again, the Saints are in business. There's a pass attempt incomplete to Fuller. That was on Kirk Cousins' card. As we mentioned earlier, Cousins with 20 interceptions. That's a pretty high interception split. Guessed right, 2 through 8 on his short pass card. That would have been just what the doctor ordered for the Saints here. 4:12 to go. Clock is stopped. Pro set, so that means that check can run here if guessed wrong. Kamara still with a few unfatigued carries. As he definitely has carried the load here in that first half for the Eagles. Already up 13-0 here in this NFC Championship. They're looking for Kamara. Cousins looking for his third touchdown reception, and he's going to get it. Touchdown, Eagles. Second touchdown reception for Kamara. Cousins now 10 of 16 for 92 yards. And McManus is going to line up and try to undo his missed extra point. 19-0 here. Philadelphia looking great, looking sharp. And special teams has been haunting the Saints. They had a missed field goal and a shanked 17-yard punt. And would you look at that? Another missed extra point. I'll be. So it's 19-0. So technically three scores, two touchdowns, two 2-point conversions, and a field goal. But the Saints very early on here are behind the 8 ball, but there's plenty of time. 3-4-54 here to go. If they can manage to put something on the board here before the half, they'll get the ball in the second half. But they can only do what they can do on offense. Defensively, they need to figure out something. The Eagles have had the ball 3 times and scored 3 touchdowns on all of their drives. And they've chewed up a significant amount of clock. Sideline pass for Cephas. Defense was double teaming. Defense was double teaming Edelman on that play. And Fred Warner was able to make that stop. It's now second down and 10. So back to the pro set that we've seen pretty much throughout this first half. Eagles have had the ball for nearly 17 minutes of this first half. And there's a fumble. And who's going to come up with it? Well, the Saints are, and they try to advance the fumble. And it's a pickup of 2. That was a snap fumble. But Charles Leno, their tackle, picked it up and rumbled 3 more yards. So it's 3rd and 8. Actually, it was a 2-yard gain for Leno. 3 wide set. Saints in all sorts of trouble here early. Down 3 scores. But they're able to get a big conversion there. Matt Ryan. Not the same Matt Ryan that we saw just 5 seasons ago. That's a pretty pedestrian short pass card, but he's able to get that 11-yard pickup. Very, very important 3rd down conversion there. 2:24 to go here in the first half. The ball rests at the Saints 38. They're trailing 19-0 in this NFC Championship game. The winner will go on to the Uber Bowl to take on the winner of the Houston Oilers and Montreal Alouettes contest. There's a 12-yard pickup for Gallman as they stay in that pro set. We get made our way to the 2-minute warning now. Ball's at the 50. Saints trailing 19-0. Saints with all 3 of their timeouts, and they're going to get the ball at the end of this half. Now, defense is going to counter with 3-3-5 here. Looking for Cephas. Defense is double teaming Cephas. He's able to make the catch, but it's only a pickup of one. The Saints are not going to call timeout. They're just going to stay in the hurry up. So Higgins is checked out. That's Cephas for Jacksonville in there. He's defended by a 6. Edelman is double teamed on this play. Actually, they've double teamed both of their wideouts. Here's a pitch to Gallman. And a nice play as they get 9, and that's just enough for the first down. So 1:15 to go. Saints will hold on to all 3 of those timeouts, stay in the hurry up. Ball to 40. Defense has to stay in that 3-3-5 as the Saints are in the hurry up. Quick pass over to Latavius Murray. And nothing doing there. In fact, he loses a yard, but fortunately, he's able to get out of bounds defender -1 or 3. So KJ Wright is able to make the play. Philadelphia's defense looking strong here, and a couple of really untimely mistakes for the Saints is the story of this game. A missed field goal from 47 yards and a 17-yard punt. Eagles took advantage of both and scored touchdowns on both of those drives, and they also scored a touchdown on the opening drive of the game that lasted 8 minutes, and that's where we are, 19-0. There's a run up the middle that's going to pick up 7. That was Latavius Murray. And the Saints are going to stay in that hurry up. So it's a 50-yard field goal attempt from here, but I would think that I think the Saints basically have 2 plays to make, the Saints have 2 plays to basically to make 3 yards. Probably not the time to be thinking about field goals. It's only the second time that the Saints have been in Eagles territory in this contest. It's a run up the middle for Murray. Defense snuffs it out. But the center is able to make the block. So Rodney Hudson, 5'7", helps out even though the defense guesses run. And the Saints are going to use one of those timeouts. So now there's 37 seconds to go. Ball at the Eagles 28. Great drive here for the Saints. They weren't left a lot of time here before the half, and they are going to get the ball at the end of at the beginning of the second half. So maybe if they can get that goose egg off the 4, they'll feel a little bit better about themselves here in the third quarter. Pro set, Eagles have pretty much stayed 3-3-5 throughout this last drive. There's a quick pass to Murray that falls incomplete. Again, Fred Warner able to make the play. Warner is a 6, so he's going to bout down everything that's going to come his way. And both of those running backs are guarded by 5s. There's just not a lot of vulnerability on this team. Really, really strong secondary for the Eagles. Off tackle run, defense guesses pass. They were double teaming Edelman on that play, and so Gallman gets 7. Saints will call timeout here, 22 seconds to go. From here, they're looking at a 38-yard field goal. After a slow start, Gallman's picked it up. He's got 8 carries for 35 yards. No surprise, back in the 3-3-5. Now let's see if the Eagles come back. Yep, they're going to stay 3-3-5. There's a pitch to Gallman. Defense guesses pass. So the Eagles have just stayed very conservative. on this drive, and they're able to convert. So that's another pickup of 5 for Gallman. Humphreys is able to make the block, the tackle, but this doesn't leave them with a lot of options here. There's 15 seconds to go, and the Saints only have one timeout remaining, so a max of 3 plays at this point. Now, fortunately, Gallman was able to make his way out of bounds, so they preserved that timeout. I don't know if there's a lot of short passes here that would get them into the end zone from 16 yards away. Slant pass to Brown, and that pass is caught. It's actually on Matt Ryan's card. Again, he hits up that 7, which gets him 11. And they're going to have to call timeout with 8 seconds to go. So I would imagine the Saints are going to try one crack here at the end zone, hope that there isn't a sack, because pretty much any short pass is going to be either one of 3 things. It's going to be a catch, it's going to be an incompletion, or it's going to be an interception. Isn't that what Woody Hayes said? 3 things happen when you put the ball in the air, and 2 of them are bad. But the Saints trailing 19-0 aren't thinking about that right now. They've got one crack at it here. So Matt Ryan is under center, which that's interesting. I don't think there's any chance of a run here from White. I guess a draw is possible, but that's going to basically end the half on a run. Defense again, 3-3-5. So who's going to be the target? Everybody's guarded by 5s or 6s. Big decision here for Gene LaFleur, trying to figure out who the Eagles aren't going to double team. They're looking for Trey Burton. Defense is double teaming 2 receivers elsewhere. And Matt Ryan is going to have to run. Oh, what a just a awful break. And he's going to be stopped just short of the goal line at the 2. And that's going to end the half. And the Saints are going to come up empty. That's the one roll that you don't anticipate. I guess there's 4 things that happen when you call pass, now that I think about it, and that would be the must run. We don't have the dump off rule. So that's about the only thing that could have hurt him there. Was that roll. I mean, at this point he would have been happy with an interception split there at 11. It would have fallen incomplete. But instead, the Saints will come up with nothing. But fortunately, they do have the ball. Not an insurmountable lead. 19-0. The Saints do play excellent defense. It's just the Eagles today have just been converting on 3rd and in their case, in some cases, 4th down. Let's look at that real quick. Eagles 67%, 4 out of 6 on 3rd down, but on the ones that they didn't get it, they converted on the next play. So, needless to say, we haven't seen a punt from the Eagles yet. They've converted every single time. And the New Orleans Saints, no slouch, hardly at all, 5 of 7. Unfortunately, on the 2 times that they weren't able to convert, they missed a field goal and they had a 17-yard punt, both leading to touchdown drives. One a little bit shorter for the Eagles. So LaFleur and the New Orleans Saints definitely have their work cut out for them. But we've seen crazier comebacks. And it's not like he has to throw downfield constantly. He can stay steady. The question is, can he get the Eagles off the field? So far, the answer is no. Taking a look at the numbers here, the quarterback comparison. Kirk Cousins was 10 of 16 in that first half, and he has 3 touchdowns, only 92 yards through the air. Matt Ryan, 9 of 15 for 53 yards, and obviously no touchdowns. Kamara, great first half, 15 carries for 85 yards. Gallman and Murray, no slouches, 40 yards and 28 yards between the pair. Kamara also 3 receptions for 27 yards. He has 2 touchdowns receiving. The other touchdown pass belongs to Brandon Ayuk. He only has 1 catch for 5 yards, and that was a touchdown. There have been no sacks for either one of these two clubs, no interceptions, so clean sheet for both teams. So both these clubs are just going to take a break, and so will we. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, everybody, back at it. Take a little Coke Zero break. And the Saints receive the kickoff. We're just 1 minute in, and they have the ball at their own 35 after converting a first down. Saints trailing 19 to nothing in this NFC Championship game. The winner between the Eagles and the Saints will take on the winner of the Montreal Alouettes and Houston Oilers in the AFC Championship. This would be Super Bowl 17, I believe, at least in the electronic version. So Lamont Murray, Latavius, excuse me, Latavius Murray. Lamont was a forward in the NBA, 5 of 28, 5.428 for Lamont Murray. Latavius Murray. We'll just say Murray. So that's Higgins back in there against Edelman. Defense is going to double team both of those wideouts. And so they're going to just stay steady here and run this ball. Oh, guessed wrong. Terrible break. That's the third dreaded 5 roll in the contest. Saints had him exactly where they wanted him. And now here's where the vulnerability comes in. Matt Ryan's short pass card isn't great. Besides Edelman, very average wide receivers. Plus, they're all guarded by 5s and 6. Even White, the running back, is guarded by a 5. This will be a very tough conversion for the Saints, who so far, actually, they're 6 of 8 in third down conversion. So they figured out a way to get it done. Defense is going to double team Shepard on that play, and it's incomplete. And so the Saints likely will have to turn this ball back over to the Eagles, and they will. So on 4th and 10. And what did I just say? Another shanked 17-yard punt. Dear Strat, please do something about that. No punter kicks 2 17-yard punts in a game. That's just ridiculous. I mean, everybody loves the randomness of that game, but that's just silly. I know all of this is built around the board game, but maybe they could consider like a 20-sided die to make sure that doesn't happen nearly as often during a season. That just seems crazy to me. But anyway, well, 20-sided die I guess wouldn't happen there either. It's all based on percentages, and it's a 1 in 36 shot of dialing up a 12, but it's still a 1 in 36 shots. So you're not going to see that 2 times a year, and unfortunately, we see it 2 times in a game. And New Orleans needs all the help they can get. And right now, they're getting no help at all. Kirk Cousins completes that pass to Brandon Ayuk, who's guessed wrong. And here's where the trouble begins. When you're trailing and you think that your opponent is going to be calling run and staying conservative, and that's 2 consecutive guessed wrong pass attempts, and both of them are good for first downs, as Cousins this time finds check. On the previous attempt, he found his real-life San Francisco colleague, Brandon Ayuk. And just like that, the Eagles find themselves 1st and 10 at the Saints 30, already up 19 to nothing. Kamara just has a handful of unfatigued carries, but he has Pollard waiting in the wings as well. It's just nice to have Kamara back there, at the very least as a decoy. Plus, he's a terrific receiver out of the backfield. There's an inside run for Kamara. Nice call by the Saints. Defense guesses run. And the nose tackle this time is able to make the play. White die 4. So Tomlinson makes the stop. It's now 2nd and 7. 9:18 to go on a running clock. Eagles in very good shape right now. Up 3 scores, looking to extend it. If the Saints can just figure out a way to hold them to a field goal, they can at least keep this to a 3-touchdown lead. But going down 4 touchdowns with about 5 minutes to go in the third, that would be a nearly impossible task. So incomplete pass there. Malcolm Jenkins makes the stop. The safety on Hunter Henry. Defender X or 12. And so that would have been another first down. But Jenkins, the 4, is able to make the stop. Longtime NFL veteran, initially as a corner, converted to a safety. 3rd down and 7. So every 3rd down is huge moving forward for New Orleans. Can they figure out a way to get this Eagles team off the field? They've been unable to do so throughout this entire contest. Looking for Kyle Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk cannot haul it in, as Campbell swats it away. And that'll bring up 4th down. So McManus, who has missed 2 extra points already in this contest, going to boot this from 44 yards out. And they extend it. So now it is 22-0. So the first time in the contest, the Eagles are not able to convert on a third down and instead have to kick. They have 2 4th downs in which they have converted. So they've got a lockup in this game. I have to jump back in. So Strat has some sort of funky kick you out of the game mechanism here. It probably has something to do with the animation. And then you got to reset the entire board game, got to log back into the game and everything. Crossing pattern for Shepard, that is incomplete. And another 3 out. So we 3 and out. We missed the first 2 plays. That punt's going to sail into the end zone. The Eagles are going to take over for their worst field position of the day at their own 20. They've benefited by not one, not two, but 3 special teams gaffes by the Saints, including 2 shanked punts that went less than 20 yards and a missed field goal. The Saints' only scoring opportunity of the game. Actually, they had 2 just before the half, down 19-0 with 8 seconds to go. Matty Ice was chased from the pocket and stopped 2 yards short of the goal line. That's an interesting stat. Philadelphia average field position 42-yard line today. So after that incomplete pass, Cousins was looking for Fuller. It's 2nd down and 10. We now see Pollard has checked into the game. Pollard's going to run it, and he's going to pick up 4. Defense guessed right. Like so many other cards, not a lot of gains there on Pollard's card, but he's able to find 4 yards, and it's 3rd down and 6. Not very many people with good guessed right cards, but at least he makes it a manageable 3rd down and 6. So 3 wide set. Defense is going to counter 3-3-5. So a nice double team there. Defense was double teaming Juszczyk. And so for the first time in the game, the Eagles have punted. And the Saints will take over at their own 28-yard line, trailing 22-0. NFC title tilt here between Gene LaFleur, 12-4 against the Eagles. Dave Szymanski, head coach, 12-4. 4-yard pickup on that flat pass to Quintez Cephas. Three receptions for a grand total of 1 yard. We're nearly through the third quarter. Matty Ice, 11 of 20 for only 66 yards. The rule set that we have in place doesn't really enable quarterbacks to have huge games because we don't have that dump off pass. So pass yards are a little bit tougher to come by. Right guard unable to make the block on that Latavius Murray carry, so he only gets two. And it's now 3rd and 4. So New Orleans trailing 3 touchdowns here on a running clock with 4 minutes left to go. They're still going to stay in this pro set. I mean, it's what they know. And eventually, Gene LaFleur has to think that something's going to break through. Off tackle run. Great call by the Eagles, who also guess run. And it's only a pickup of 2. And so now we have an interesting scenario here. 4th and 2 with the ball at their own 35, and they're trailing by 3 touchdowns. And I do believe this is the right decision. They're pretty much going for it on this play. 4th and 2. Back to the pro set. Defense in that 3-3-4 so they can flood 2 zones. So they might hedge. Flood 2 zones. Defense calls run. This is Dearness Johnson. Oh, and he dials up the dreaded 5 for the 4th time in the game. And the poor New Orleans Saints just cannot buy a break at this point. So that's some unfortunate luck for sure. So the Eagles up 22-0, and I believe for the 3rd time in this contest, they're going to take over possession in New Orleans Saints territory. And interestingly, none of them have been from turnovers. They've all been from 2 poor punts and I guess a turnover on downs here. So yes, that would technically be a turnover. So we have just seen our first turnover of the game. Defender extra 12 on that pass attempt. And it is completed, a first down. Brandon Ayuk, that's his 3rd catch of the game. He has 1 touchdown, 29 yards. Cousins so far, 13 of 23 with 3 touchdown passes. Kamara is stopped for no gain as the tight end was unable to make the block. It's now 2nd down and 10. Minute 48 on a running clock. New Orleans already trailing by 3 scores. They need a turnover, something that's going to turn this game around. Defense calls run. Pollard's going to carry. Pollard's going to carry. He's going to cough the ball up. And who comes up with it? I believe the defense has come up with it. They sure did, and they get a little bit of yards. So that is a nice break for New Orleans, who's been waiting for one throughout this entire contest. So maybe that can flip things around. Again, it's a tall order to get 3 scores in 16 and a half. But at least they're going to keep the Eagles off the scoreboard. Pitch outright, defense. Calling pass, and that's a 14-yard pickup for Gallman. I believe that's his biggest carry of the game. 13 carries now for 63 yards. He was off to a horrible start. His first 4 carries yielded literally nothing. But here lately, he's definitely picked up the pace. Still time here left to get those 3 touchdowns. Again, it's a tall order, but the Saints aren't going to panic, and they're going to stay in this pro set. They're going to go with what they know. The problem is a lengthy drive that takes 6 or 7 minutes isn't going to leave them a lot of time. Off tackle run. Murray with 8, 2nd down and 2. As we're closing in on the final seconds here of the 3rd quarter. On the heels of that Tony Pollard, Eagles fumble. The Saints have now made their way into Eagles territory. Ball at the 45. No give up here in Gene LaFleur's New Orleans Saints, 12-4 during the regular season. Another pitch. Defense calls pass. That's another first down. This is Dearness Johnson, who gets 5 on the play. Defensive end 1 or 5, a 6, and only a 6 would have gotten that 5-yard pickup. Instead, it would have been 3rd and 1. But Johnson gets 5, and we've made our way now into the fourth quarter. This will be the first play of the fourth quarter. Eagles rolling the shutout on the Saints, 22-0. But the Saints with a little bit of momentum here off of that Tony Pollard fumble. And they're looking to cut into this 3-score lead. And there's a quick pass to Murray. One man in the zone, but on the receiver card, it's incomplete. Unfortunate break there is, gosh, wow, 7, 10, and 2. Everything else would have been a nice gain. Most of it would have been a first down. So instead, 2nd down and 10. Gene LaFleur is like, what else is new? 5-yard pickup for Gallman, who continues to chop away. That's his 14th carry. One more unfatigued carry for Gallman. Back in the pro set, let's see what they're going to counter. They're going to counter 3-3-5. So this is pretty much inviting a run at this point. But look at that stout front line there, 5-6-5. I see an off-tackle run. Nope. Instead, we're going to see a pass to Higgins. And it's incomplete. So now New Orleans is staring at a 4th and 5 from the 35. A field goal does absolutely no good here. So a huge conversion attempt for the Saints. They're 0 for 1 on 4th down. Where is the answer here? Again, really strong linebackers. Sideline pass to Higgins. Defense double teaming Higgins. Nice call, Philadelphia, and the Saints once again knocking on the door. And the door is slammed in their face. 3rd time now the Saints have been in Eagles territory. Missed field goal. Clock expires with Matt Ryan taking the ball to the 2 just before the half. And now a failed 4th down conversion at the 35. And the Eagles already up 3 scores. We're going to look to bleed some more clock. So Dave Szymanski, just 13 minutes away from an autumn win championship appearance, which we can say now is going to be against Claude Turcotte and the Montreal Alouettes, who were able to defeat the Houston Oilers in the AFC Championship game. There's an inside run for Kamara. Defense guesses pass. Pickup of 7 and a first down. Eagles have the ball at their own 47, up 22-0. So Dave Szymanski sitting pretty, up 3 scores. Just wants to bleed some more clock and avoid a turnover. Pollard fumbled the ball on his last possession. Relatively deep in Saints territory. Run for Kamara. Defense guesses run. Excuse me, that was a pass attempt. I'm sorry. Defender -3 or 4. And on that look-in pass, pass falls to the turf. 2nd down and 10. Pollard in there. Cousins is 13 of 24 with 3 touchdown passes, 126 yards. Crossing pattern. Defense guesses pass. That's incomplete. 4 men in the zone. And so it's 3rd and 10. Super conservative game. I've only seen one long pass attempt. I believe it was by Philadelphia. Most everything else has been flat and inside runs. The occasional short pass sprinkled in, but it's mostly been quick hitters and runs. Here's a slant pass. They're looking for Hunter Henry. Let's see if they can convert. And the answer is no. 4 men in the zone. And so the Eagles, once again, will turn this ball back over to the Saints, but they were able to bleed a little bit more clock. And the Saints will take over at their own 13-yard line. 11 minutes to go, still trailing by 3 scores. So the Saints have to be perfect on this drive. I don't think we're going to see the pro set anymore. Matty Ice is going to have to find a way to win this game. And I think it's really going to have to be him because, again, not a lot of strength here from those receivers. Shepard is guarded by a force, and maybe we'll see some attempts to him. Edelman does have a solid card. Higgins is very average. Screen pass to Murray. Defense guesses pass. 7-yard pickup, 2nd down and 3. Under 11 minutes to go here in this NFC Championship game. The winner's going to take on Claude Turcotte and the Montreal Alouettes in Super Bowl 17, the Autumn Wind Championship. Crossing pattern for Sterling Shepard. Eagles double team Shepard. And now we have 3rd and 3. So how did Matt Ryan do during this regular season? 24 touchdowns against 19 interceptions. Quarterback rating of 76. All right, we got that 2 running back set. Defense guesses pass. Oh, wow. So Matt Ryan completes it to Julian Edelman. But on the heels of that super strong pass defense for the Eagles, they're only able to pick up 2. So now the 3rd 4th down conversion attempt for the Saints. They're 0 for 2. So 4th down has been the Waterloo for the Saints. 0 for 2 on 4th down conversions. 2 clunker punts under 20 yards and a missed field goal. But the Saints playing to the end here. 9:36 to go. 4th down and 1. Defense guesses pass. And that's a pickup of 6 on the play. So Ryan looks and finds Matt Ryan, and that'll move the chains. But slow going here for the New Orleans Saints. 3 wide set. Got to start making their way downfield. There's a slant pass looking for Trey Burton, and it's incomplete. Well, you get that defensive card. Wow, there's not a lot there. I mean, look at your defender readings, basically. Defender X or short gain. Chances are that's going to be an incompletion because he's got 5s and 6 throughout the secondary. Defender X or 13 up there on the 2. I mean, how often are you going to get that? Blanks on 3, 4, 5. Interception split 2 through 6, 11 and 12. Yikes. Receiver on 6 and 8. That's it. And there was an interception split there too, but that's going to be incomplete. And so now it's 3rd and 10. Ryan was looking for Murray. Just tough sledding against this Eagles club. Even when he guesses wrong, if you go to that defensive card, on pass attempts, I mean, you're going to be hit. It's just so difficult. Yardage so difficult here against this Eagles club. I'm sure they were a headache for just about every team they played this year. Ergo, their 12-4 record. Saminsky is one of the long-term members of this league. He's the historian of this league. Down and out to White. Defense was double teaming elsewhere, and Ryan has to tuck it and run. And here we are again, another fourth down. Now they were able to convert their last fourth down. Let's see if they can do it again. 7:48 to go. Saints with a long way to go and a short time to get there. Trailing 22 to nothing and now facing a 4th and 5. Just not a lot of options. Again, the defense counters with a 3-3-5. Maybe anticipating the short pass. I would have to think they're just going to chuck this flat pass and see what happens. And there it is, a square out pass to Edelman. Defense is double teaming Edelman. Not looking promising. And again, that pass is incomplete. And they once again will turn the ball over back to the Eagles in Saints territory. And for those of you scoring at home, the Eagles' average field position for this game has been their own 41. Multiple times in this contest, they have taken over inside of Saints territory. And with 7:30 to go, barring calamity, the Eagles look ready to punch their ticket to the Super Bowl championship, where they will face off against the Montreal Alouettes. There's a run that doesn't go anywhere for Pollard. So, what kind of season did Alvin Kamara manage this year? Well, he had 302 carries for 1,939 yards on the season, and he also had 81 catches for 926 yards. So, wow, close to 2,900 yards from scrimmage. Pretty much the do it all back. He also averaged 11 yards per reception, 6.4 yards per carry. Hard to handle, that's for sure. 3rd and 15 now. For the Eagles as they look to bleed out this clock. 6:18 to go, running clock. Think they'd be happy just to get a quick pickup here, maybe even a run up the middle for use check. Just hold on to the ball and bleed more clock. Or maybe a flat pass here and get in field goal range, and that would extend the lead to 4 scores. At this point, though, I don't believe it's going to really make a difference. Just don't turn the ball over. Steady as she goes, Dave Saminsky. Just put this game to bed. 6:18 to go, rolling clock, 22 nothing Eagles. Getting ready to punch their ticket to the Super Bowl where they'll face off against the Montreal Alouettes. Quick into use check. Defense double teaming use check, and it's incomplete. So let's see if the Eagles choose to kick a field goal here. McManus has a booming leg. He's missed 2 extra points in this contest. From here, it'd be a 55-yarder. I think with the opportunity to extend this to 4 scores, why not try it here? And here we go. So a 55-yard attempt for McManus. And he puts it through. So somehow he's not able to manage a couple of extra points, and yet he just boots through a 55-yarder. So the real life Denver Bronco field goal kicker has now extended this to 4 scores. And with 5:40 to go, it's pretty much academic at this point. So we had another game freeze. We'll jump right back in. Okay, so we're checking back in. Saints trailing 25 nothing. 4:12 to go here in the fourth quarter. At this point, Saints just trying to put something on the board. Just anything to avoid this shutout. Ryan today 16 of 33. We got 3 minutes to go, and he still hasn't eclipsed 100 yards passing. But as we've seen, every one of his guys are guarded by fives and sixes. So that's a 2 yard pickup on that flat pass. And Matt Ryan still has not made it over 100 yards, 97 yards. Not your dad's Matt Ryan. This is the sunset Matt Ryan, 17 of 35 for 97 yards. So New Orleans, another attempt on fourth down, and that's no good. So basically, Philadelphia has 2:42 to run this clock out and punch his ticket to the Uber Bowl. So a clunker of a game for Matt Ryan, but to no one's surprise, the Eagles' pass defense is super strong this year, and it really showed up today as they're just over 2 minutes away from rolling a shutout. Saints are not calling timeout here. 2:06 to go. That's a run for Pollard, and he picks up a first down. So we made our way to the 2 minute warning. Saints with three timeouts, they're probably not going to call them. Maybe Saminsky's just going to take three knees and let this game go. So congratulations to Gene LaFleur, 12-4 regular season and two wild card wins as they made their way to the NFC finals, but they have run into a buzzsaw here in the Philadelphia Eagles. A minute 15 left. New Orleans is not calling timeout. And so perhaps we'll just see them take a knee and we're going to end this contest here momentarily. Eagles up 25 nothing. So congratulations, Gene. Great season, 14-4, and we'll finish at 14-5 with this loss to the Eagles. Dave Saminsky 12-4 and three consecutive playoff wins for the right to play in the Uber Bowl. As a matter of fact, both of these clubs, Montreal and New Orleans, were wild card teams, as Montreal defeated the Dallas Cowboys 20-0 and then followed that up with a 23-14 win over a very solid Grand Rapids Rampage club. Yep, the Alouettes were 12-4 and the Eagles were 12-4. And so congratulations to Dave Saminsky. We'll take a look at the box score here and then we'll wrap things up. We'll see if either one of the two guys want to join us on the broadcast to chat a little bit about the game. If not, we're going to close things down. And so we now have our Autumn Wind Championship combatants. The Montreal Alouettes and the Philadelphia Eagles will play in Super Bowl 17. Right now, we are in February 2022. This was the 2021 regular season, and we were playing with 2020 cards. So, a quick comparison again, all Philadelphia, all scores from the Eagles. They scored on their first drive on a Kamara 6-yard pass from Cousins, scoring on their second drive. Brandon Ayuk, a 5-yard pass from Cousins. Kamara again, an 8-yard pass from Cousins, and that gave them the lead 19-0. During the first half, the New Orleans Saints missed a 47-yard field goal, so that was one scoring opportunity. They drove the length of the field, and with a few ticks on the clock, 8 seconds specifically, Matty Ice was flushed from the pocket, and on his must run, he only picked up 3, and he was stopped at the 2. And so time uh, ended right there, not giving them a chance to get any points on the board or cut into this lead. They played better defense in the fourth quarter, only allowing a couple of field goals from Brandon McManus, who drilled it from 44 and 54, and that extended the lead to 25-0 as they throw the shutout. Saints did a better job of getting the Eagles off the field. In the first half, they were 4 of 6 on third down and 2 on 2 on fourth down, so they never punted. But in the second half, they were able to get them off the field multiple times, 6 of 15 for New Orleans. And as we'd mentioned, the Waterloo for the Saints, 4 unsuccessful fourth down conversions, 2 punts that traveled under 20 yards, and a field goal attempt of 47 that was no good. So fourth down pretty much told the tale. Also, average uh, start for the Eagles was the 45-yard line. So they had good field position pretty much throughout. Kirk Cousins, not great numbers, but good enough. 13 for 27 for 126 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Matt Ryan, not one of his better days, 17 of 36, only 97 yards, and of course, no touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, 19 carries for 100 yards. The combination of Wayne Gallman and Latavius Murray, strong all year, 22 combined carries for the pair for 108 yards, averaging about 5 yards a carry. The problem is they just were not able to convert on third downs. They're staring at 5s and 6s across the field along the linebacker set, and with their corners and safeties, just not a lot of room to manage. Julian Edelman led the team with 5 catches for 39 yards. And so that is your box score. And the two teams are chatting, so we will wait to see if anybody's going to join us in studio. And we'll shut it down here in just a little bit if nobody does. Hi, who do we have with us?
Hello,
Hi,
this is Claude.
this is Cloud. Hey, how are you?
Fine. What about yourself?
I'm doing wonderfully. Thank you for asking. And so, everybody, this is Claude Turcotte, who is the coach of the Montreal Alouettes, who now knows exactly who his opponent is going to be in Dave Saminsky. Claude, how long have you been in this Autumn Wind League?
From the very start.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw that on the forum, and I've been initiated by Jean Lafleur at because I was in. We were both the three of us, Mark, Jean, and me. We were in the Strat-o-matic face-to-face hockey league around
Wow.
Montreal. And Jean bought the game, and we played a few games face to face. And he managed a face to face league for a few years, and then I moved out. And when I get back, I rejoined that league, and then I saw that on the internet and said, "Oh, that's going to be fun," because traveling around Montreal from South Shore to North Shore is a really nightmare here. So it was convenient to be on the internet league.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you've had a lot of experience then playing with Dave over the years.
Well, we played a few times, but I think they've got most of the time the upper hand. And he beat me previously in the season. I don't remember the score, but it was not that close. So I really fear him. And that's going to be the Birdie Bowl.
Yes, it's going to be a fantastic matchup. If I do say so myself, in the forum, the two teams that I predicted to make the finals were the Montreal Alouettes and the Philadelphia Eagles. So
Yeah.
here's the thing: I don't know how to get my Rams into the playoffs, but for whatever reason, I know who's going to be there, and I know who's going to play in the final two. So there must be something I've got right. You have a very strong team, and you've had a great run here in these playoffs.
Yeah. Well, now we might nickname you the Prophet.
Can I prophesize one day that maybe my team will be there? We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. Uh,
Yeah. Well, I tell you might be there, but this game is really a matter of luck. So I think it's presumptuous to say, well, I coached a great game and I deserve to be there because most of the time when you do a great game, your opponent does as well. But you
mhm.
know, what plummet Jean was those kick, those punt at 17 yards
Yes,
twice.
right.
Because when you look at the global stat, it it doesn't explain that score.
Right, right. Those are just as fluky as your punt return fumbles, your kick return fumbles, snap fumbles, things like that. I mean, that it's what makes this game kind of quirky. I agree. I mean, if we were just basically going to put it out there and play card for card, maybe it would get a little bit boring. So teams do need some breaks, and obviously Philadelphia took advantage of every one of those breaks, as we'd mentioned on fourth down. Golly, a missed field goal, two crazy punts that were under 20 yards. On third down, Matt, he would have begged for anything to happen on that last play with 8 seconds left to go that didn't involve a Matt Ryan must run. And there he gets plugged at the two. And so now you wind up with nothing. It was just, it was just some unfortunate circumstances, basically, that I'm not sure how New Orleans could have overcome any of those. And almost all of those were based on rolls.
Yeah. Well, that play especially remind me about the Kansas City Chiefs against the Bengals in the playoffs. At the end of first half, the Chiefs tried to get into the end zone and ran out of time instead of taking the 3 points.
Hmm.
It,
And it's
it,
understandable. I didn't disagree with the call a bit because I would imagine if he didn't convert on that play, he probably would have kicked that field goal with 1 second. And Philadelphia doesn't bring a lot of heat to begin with. So really the only thing that could have happened there was an interception or just a pass that would have fallen to the turf. He would have wound up getting 3 yards. You just don't anticipate that little must run that just snuck in right there on Matt Ryan's card.
well, I don't know exactly what were the odds as well for the sack, but
Yes,
I thought I would have taken the 3 points, but second guessing is it's always easy to say. But at 19-16, you're going to a three possession to a two possession game. Of course, a touchdown is still a two possession game. It's better,
mhm,
but you know, I think the biggest numbers was close to getting from three to two possession instead of just narrowing the gap of 7 points instead of three. But
sure.
that second guess and it's easy now. But
Well,
yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I played New Orleans this year and basically got destroyed in the first quarter. This is, if you look at them, they're definitely a ball control team. They're one of those clubs that, because of the rule set that we have, allows basically a couple of running backs to play running back and fullback. But if this team goes down by a score or two, it's going to be really difficult. Their wideout set isn't strong. They don't have a strong tight end. This has to be a team that basically just runs the ball and keeps it close with little flat passes. Only receiver they have that is of any danger at all is Julian Edelman. And when you're staring on the other end at not only fives and six throughout the safety, but fives and six in your linebacker zones, where do you go? I mean, he's built a juggernaut defensive team here,
Oh
no
yeah,
question.
yeah. I wanted to join specifically to thank you about those broadcasts. I know you're investing a lot of your personal time into that, and I appreciate it. And I guess most of the people of the league uh, does as well. But,
Well, thank you.
maybe they're not saying that, but I'm sure they are.
Well, I appreciate that. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And sometimes I ride sidecar with Dennis Crowley, and I know that people have things to do on a Saturday, and so do I. But I want these to be around so that if people can't watch them live, that they can watch them a little bit later. I think it's a lot of fun, and Tom Cook and Dennis Crowley always do great with their broadcasts. So I think it's the least I could do to add a little bit of fun to this league. It is my favorite league of all the ones that we play. It's a very special league, and we've got a very special game coming up here too with two lifers here in the league. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll look for you and Dave to post that day and time. And, we'll all be there to listen. And maybe this next time we'll have a few coaches in here instead of a broadcast. Maybe we'll have a watch party. But, please make sure when that game is complete, come back in because we'd love to have a chance to talk to both of you guys. Whenever Dave's on, we always get a history lesson of the league anyway. So that's always fun.
Yeah, well, I don't promise I would. It's not a matter if I win or not, but sometimes the family is sacrificing sometimes to allow you to play. So after the game, you just leave and manage your family life.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely. But
that,
I'm glad that you could spare some time. I think maybe last year during a broadcast, you may have popped on after one of the games, and so slowly but surely, I'm starting to meet more and more people here in the league after these broadcasts. It was very kind of you to join us, and I do wish you a lot of success. I think you've got a juggernaut team. I love that line. Tannehill was roasting in the game in your championship game. He had a fine game, but I think you've got it set up that offensively, you can hold on to the ball, and you have a quarterback that can actually convert on third and long, third and 9, 10, 11, 12. And a lot of these clubs don't have that. And so even if you go down, there's a chance that you've got a chance to pick it up late. So whereas others of these clubs, if they're playing from behind, they do have a lot of difficulty. So you're going to be a tough out, that's for sure.
well, Tannehill was a non-factor against Grand Rapids. And when I said it's a matter of luck, I don't remember, but I guess I got maybe 30 to 40% completion against Grand Rapids, and still with that I won. But it's just a matter of rolling the correct dice at the
It
correct moment.
At this point, it is. I think that the teams are strong and the coaches are strong, and sometimes really luck does play a factor in one way or the other. And clearly, New Orleans just didn't catch any breaks today. So I don't think the score is indicative of the Eagles being a stronger team. We could have played this thing 10 times, and it could have gone five either way for sure. There was one question I wanted to ask you. The forum is, well, not the forum, but the website isn't quite as strong as it has been in the past, and they've put together some really nice features here as far as past winners and coaching records, things like that. To your recollection, since they've gone to the electronic version, how many autumn win titles do you have under your belt, and how many championship games have you played?
I've played on two championship games and I won those two.
Okay, all
The,
right, that's fantastic.
the first
Looking
one
to
was against Dennis Crowley, and he was 14-6, 14-6 at the halftime for him. And it was 14-3, and I lost the ball with 2 minutes, but he threw a bomb and I intercept, so I get back for a 3 point, and it ends something like 23-17. I think
okay,
it was on the 12th Hooper Bowl.
okay,
And maybe 3 or 4 years later, I was against the Baltimore Colts of Neil Shannon,
well, Shannon, yep,
which has at this moment Dede Westbrook, which was the lone punt returner with a touchdown at 4.
okay,
I remember that because I was I was scary as hell to punt.
uh-huh.
So, and it was those two games I was involved in too, but this year is quite a surprise. Even if you predicted it, I saw myself in the playoff, but maybe just one game and I'm out. So that's what I was thinking. Then I got the Cowboys, and Mark is always a fierce opponent. I
Sure.
said I'm gonna flip a coin against Grand Rapids. You have a way stronger team that I have, so I got the rose probably, and then Houston Oilers was a kind of jack in the box for me because I never played Ken, so I nothing I can expect specifically. just look at his cards, and he has a very strong team. But again, ladies' luck was favoring me with that bomb to Cooper. Well, it settled the game for me.
Yeah, that really turned the game around. I remember that was a 66-yard touchdown pass that was on Cooper's card, right or wrong. It wouldn't even have mattered. He had guessed run, as I recall, but on his card, 66, and that basically flipped the script. And yeah, it was
Yeah.
a yeah.
And as a
Yeah.
defender, that kind of result annoys me because you're looking at right or wrong, and you say, "Okay, whatever I did, you know, nobody has any merit except the dice."
That's true. We're all going to see our, and that's a good point. If think about it, your two makes for a 66-yard touchdown pass that immediately puts you on the board and gives you the lead. Now today, Gene LaFleur's 12 twice kills him. I mean, it basically puts the field position. The Eagles took over twice inside of Saints territory and took advantage of both of those and turned, I think, one into a touchdown and maybe another into three. I can't quite remember, but it's funny. It's what you do with those 2s and 12s. You're going to get them during the game, but it's when you get them that's going to count. And unfortunately, it was on fourth down. It was just horrible luck for Gene today.
Yeah,
Eh, Well, and what's interesting too, now that I remember this, so my season was just basically going completely off the rails, and I was desperately trying to get to 8-8 with a small little window with a chance to get in. And it just seemed like I'm either coaching lousy, I'm not catching breaks, or a combination of the both. And now I'm facing up with you with 12 wins and thinking, well, this is going to be garbage here. I'm going to go 7-9, and that's going to be the end of that. And you can't catch a break in anything in my game and wind up getting shut out 20-0 for a club that isn't worthy of shutouts. It's not like my team has sixes all over the place. It was just one of those things where you just couldn't catch a break. And then, a week later, here you are in a wild card game against a very, very fierce opponent in Dallas. And what do? You pull off the 20-0 shutout, and you beat to have the right to get into this Super Bowl game. The team that I just couldn't handle at all, Houston. I just had a rough time with them in my division. 2 games comes out of nowhere. Basically, who in the world's Ken Briere? When nobody's ever heard of this guy, and here he is, 2 seasons in, just a couple of plays away from a potential AFC Championship game and punching his ticket. I doubt very many coaches in the league after only 2 seasons have been able to make their way into a
yeah.
final. So you've earned it. I mean, you've absolutely earned it and taken on some very, very difficult opponents along the way. There's been no gimmies in any of these games.
Well, normally, even if it's a matter of luck, it is the best teams on papers most of the time. And I would make an exception for yours because I saw your team as a very, very strong one. And since you didn't have the role during the season, because ending with a 8-8 records doesn't make sense, so you should have format your PC and reinstall all your stuff.
I think that at least 5 coaches have spyware on my card. I'm convinced that somehow they have infiltrated into my computer, which is interesting that they would basically steal my strat logic as opposed to my credit card information. But that whatever. I think they have their priorities straight. But no,
but
it was a flunky year. I just didn't coach this team right at all. But we'll be back. I love this league and I truly enjoy it. And it's okay. It was frustrating, but whatever. We'll be back next year. Who's going to complain when you have Mahomes? Honestly, you got a real problem if you're complaining when you got Patrick Mahomes there. So you've got a window. So we'll figure out. We'll be back next year. That's for sure.
yes, I'm sure you got all the weapons for that.
Yep.
But
Yep.
but what you're saying is maybe some people have some spyware or whatever. But what Ken Briere said on your broadcast the last game about the double team of Travis Kelsey was thinking about reverse psychology, and I think it's a factor sometimes in the game. He knows that I know that he knows, and then you say, okay, he knows that I should be doing that, so he won't do another thing, and I knew he would do another things, and then okay, at the end of the day, you'll flip a coin and say, okay, I'll double team that guy and see what
Yep.
happens.
That's true. I think there's psychology to that too, because like I had Calvin Ridley on this club, and when I looked at the end of the year stats, it's like, gosh, I barely threw to this guy. But you get spooked when you get double teamed more often than not, and now you're like, well, okay, I'm 99% sure he's going to double team Ridley. So let's go with somebody who I know he wouldn't double team, like Izzo, a tight end who basically is just an end of the bench player. But you psych yourself out of making what is the right call. Okay, I've got Russell Gage sitting right next to me. I'll never think about Russell Gage. Well, who does he throw the double whammy on? There's just so much psychiatry or psychology, like you said, to this. And even Ken had said that during his game that sometimes you just basically randomize it and say, all right, just pick a number between 1 and 4 and 1 and 5, and that way you're going to get a 20% shot at somebody that's catching the ball either out of the backfield or on the line of scrimmage. Sometimes it just is a dice roll, just trying to pick out 1 and 5. You
Yeah.
just never know who it's going to wind up being. So yeah, we'd like to think that a lot of this is great coaching. Like last night, I had a game in SSFA against who I believe to be just one of the best coaches, like literally ever, and Nathan Baylor. He's a fantastic coach. He knows this stuff. His father was in this league too, and I took him on in SSFA. Dak Prescott, my quarterback, got hurt early in the second quarter, and so I'm dragging Mason Rudolph out
Oh,
there. Wind up winning this game 31-26 against his Patrick Mahomes card. So luck does play into this. You can't. I didn't go to bed thinking, yeah, see, that was the coaching performance of my lifetime. I mean, some of this really is cat and mouse, run versus pass. He calls pass, I call run, and you just happen to get that right roll on your card as opposed to on the defensive card. There's just so much randomness in this. It really is.
yes. And Mason Rudolph's biggest asset is his girlfriend, so it doesn't help to win games.
Well, I'm glad he's on my team. But listen, I was really thankful to get a chance to check in with you, and I think that you've had a wonderful season. And I wish, what I'm hoping for is a great game for both of you guys. Now we're on a neutral field; nobody gets an advantage. We got two. Oh, 12-4 was your regular season record. So we got two clubs that had to make their way up from the ground up from the wild card game. So two 15-win seasons for both of these clubs. It's going to be a great game. Two great coaches. Let's hope for a close one. No flukes. Let's see which team's going to pull it out.
Yeah.
Here's
Well,
hoping for no 20-yard punts. That's what I'm hoping for. No snap fumbles, no punt return fumbles. Let's just play
yeah.
a good clean
Well,
game.
it happens, but anyway.
Yep.
Okay, thanks for broadcasting it. I just came by just to say that, and
Thank you,
we'll
sir.
see you on the next game.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much. Nice joining us. That was Claude Turcotte, head coach of the Montreal Alouettes, who will be facing off against the Philadelphia Eagles here very, very soon. They'll announce the Super Bowl championship schedule here soon. We'll put another broadcast up. Maybe we'll have us a watch party this next time. But I enjoyed bringing this to everybody today. And your final score, 25-0, Philadelphia Eagles over the New Orleans Saints. So congratulations to Dave Szymanski, who will be facing off against Claude Turcotte here very, very soon. Gene LaFleur, great season, but it ends today at 14-5. So signing off here for Autumn Wind. We'll get that championship game here very soon. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and thank you for joining us. And I wish God bless everybody. Have a safe time. Be safe out there. We're still in the middle of a pandemic, everybody, so stay safe. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.